Hi, beautiful souls. This is Freya at Spirit Healer Tarot. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, thank you for joining me again. You returning folks will see that I've got a new setup. I am traveling this summer. Right now I'm in New York City, so the setup is new. I have a few announcements before we get into the readings. So, and the focus of the I'm going to discuss eclipse season, which is the focus of this reading. First announcement. I am staying right beneath the flight pattern to one of the local airports. And there are times when the planes go overhead and there are times when they don't. The weather pattern changed over the weekend, and so the planes started going overhead right when I was trying to get these readings out, and I thought I would wait a couple of days to see if it changed, but it hasn't. So you will hear some noise pollution overhead, and I apologize for that. I'm just going to try and do my best to stop talking as the planes go overhead and start up again when I can. So pardon the interruption. The second thing that I want to share is that these readings are going to be around the eclipse season that we're in. So eclipse season started July 23rd with the new moon in Leo this past Sunday. It's going to end September 6th, but it's going to peak on the 21st of August, which is the total solar eclipse that's happening, and that's going to span across the United States. Here comes a plane. I believe that's a Monday, August 21st, and the eclipse is going to start in the Pacific Northwest over the state of Washington, and it's going to go across the United States, more towards the northern part of the United States, and end in the mid-Atlantic. So I know it's going to hit New York City, I believe around 4 p.m.-ish on that same day. So we haven't had an eclipse go across, a solar eclipse go across the United States in that manner for quite a while. And I have a feeling, someone quoted 100 years to me. I'm not an astrologer, so I really don't know, but I know that I have been feeling the effect of eclipse season for the last week or two already. And because most of my viewers are residents of the United States, I'm going to focus this reading on the theme of the eclipses. Eclipses bring up, for many of us, those things that our soul, our spirits, and the spirit world in general is asking us to shift, to change. Usually it's those things we don't want to look at because they're too hard to answer. We are going to be put through a sieve, and those issues are going to come up, and they're going to be placed right in front of us for us to take a look at, so that we can change, so that we can move and burn off what no longer is needed and move into this new cycle, evolve really into this new cycle with less baggage from the past. And more fuel and more direction and more vision to really, start a new cycle in our lives, to begin that new project, to begin a different relationship with self, to begin whatever it is that your spiritual path is asking of you at this time. So that's what these readings are going to focus on. If you are having a difficult time, or just, a difficult time during this time, feel free to reach out to me. I am doing an event on July 30th in New York City. It's a tarot night at OK Cafe in Astoria, Queens. I'll put a link to the Facebook invite below. Please, if you're in the area, I'd love to meet you, and I'd love to give you a mini reading that day, so come on by. Or if you really need, some one-on-one time with me, click the link below and schedule a reading. I am happy to do that, especially for you all during eclipse season. I know that I've been reaching out to my personal helpers and readers and healers who work with me on the physical plane, and I'm happy to be that support system for you. Okay. Let me think if there's anything else. Happy birthday to Leos, all you Leos. I love you guys, the regal lions of the zodiac. I hope you're all having a wonderful birthday month. And I think that's it for the announcements. And without further ado, here come your... Hello, dear Sagittarius. How are you? It is your turn for your eclipse season reading. This is Freya, and I'm just going to jump right into it and shuffle your cards. It seems, well, first of all, if you haven't listened to the introduction, go ahead and listen to it because I'm doing a slightly different spread for you all this month for eclipse season, okay? If you don't have time to listen to the whole thing, I believe it's the middle, like 3 minutes in the middle that you should probably listen to, and it'll explain why I'm doing a different spread. Other than that, I would like to say that there have been planes flying overhead for the last couple of days, and it seems like we've hit a quiet spot, so hopefully there won't be too much noise pollution for your reading, dear Sag. Okay, tuning in and saying my prayer. I ask that the white light surround us, the light of protection, understanding, and healing. I ask that my guides come through and speak clearly this day for my viewers' understanding. May all of my dear Sagittarians' intentions be heard and answered, and I ask that this eclipse season reading be for the highest and best of all concerned. I ask this through all my teachers. I would like my dear Sagittarians to have love in their lives, to be in loving relationships, to have creative work that is fulfilling to them, and to always be guided towards their highest destiny. Please show us the messages and energies for Sagittarius for this eclipse season, July 23rd through August 23rd, 2017. Okay, please show us the messages and energies for Sagittarius for eclipse season, July 23rd through August 23rd, 2017. Sagittarius, eclipse season, July 23rd through August 23rd, 2017. All right, that middle section would like to be your reading for today. Okay, so the first card up is going to be the card of where you're standing today, or the situation that's brought you to where you're standing today. And you all got the Princess of Wands. Okay, it's a really beautiful card right there. The second card is what spirit and or what your own inner spirit is asking you to give up or change during eclipse cycle, and you've got the Magician reversed. Really interesting. The next card is what is standing in the way of the change. What's causing the change not to happen for you. And you've got the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay. And then the fourth card, not the final, the fourth card is the new situation that's evolving as you move through this eclipse cycle and go through the things. You've got the Three of Cups, which is abundance. It's really beautiful. And then the final card is the spiritual guidance. And you've got the Three of Wands. All right, lots of fire, lots of cups energy coming in for dear Sagittarius. Okay, let me put this here so you can see your cards. All right, so let me get right into it. So for eclipse season, the whole point is to evolve. The whole point of the eclipses um, is to really bring up those issues, those emotions, anything that stands in the way of our greater evolution. And it can be shaky energy. It can be, especially with the solar eclipse, it can be really frenetic, shaky energy. One of my teachers suggested not going out at all the day of the solar eclipse. That is going to be August 21st. If you have an office job, be grateful for it, because you want to not be, this is what my teacher said anyway, you want to not be in the path of that chaotic sun being blocked energy. As much as possible, stay indoors. For you, you're starting this eclipse season off with the Princess of Wands. So you're in a place, I feel like you're in a pretty good place as far as your creativity goes, as far as your life path and life direction goes. The Princess of Wands is passionate. She's very much a go-getter, and you're in this place where you're feeling the 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 word that's coming to me is the verve of life, VERVE, and just that you're in the right place, you're in the right time, you're doing what you want to do. She's got the tiger by the tail, and she's got her magic wand, and she's calling forth her manifestations. Okay, so that's the energy, and it's beautiful energy. That's the energy that is coming in from the past and that has brought you here today. She can also be really impatient. So watch out a little bit for that. And the reason I say that is because here's what you're being asked to change. Can you see that card? It's the Magician in reverse. All right? And the Magician in the upright is all about the alchemist, the person who has the tools at their disposal to manifest their true heart's desire, as long as it's within divine will, right? As long as it's not hurting anyone. In reverse, be very careful of being the dark magician. It will come back tenfold in your face if you try to create things that are negative for another person. If you try to manipulate situations to hurt other people. There is, eclipses, they do bring up the shadow side, and for many people, the shadow of knowing how much power you have in your own reality to create. The shadow side can come in when other people's will is different than yours, and rather than listening to the higher octave of what can the two of us or the three of us create together that incorporates all of our good, that incorporates a win-win situation for the whole, you may just end up running your own will and being the dark magician. So at this time, what I would say is the eclipse season is asking you to take a look at the parts of your life where you have been in the past, the dark magician, because you're moving into, as I look at the cards, you're moving into a really positive space, and you don't want any of that to really ruin it, right? You're in a good place here. Life is flowing for you. Life is moving. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's energetic. As we move through the month of this eclipse cycle, you've got the Three of Cups, which is fun, love, creativity, pleasure, sensuality, friendships, and the card underneath that is abundance, right? So there's a lot of abundant goodness coming your way as the eclipse cycle moves through. And so what I'm hearing is you're really being asked to surrender control a little bit. Surrender the negative side of control. It's good to be in control of your life, right? It's good to know that your finances are taken care of. It's good to know that you have a home to come to every night, that you have a bed to sleep in. It's good to know that you have friends whom you trust and work that is meaningful. However, the dark side of control is always pushing for your will to manifest without listening to the higher octave, right? Hang on one second, they're asking me to slow down. All right, so the higher octave that wants to manifest, you've got a couple of threes in your spread. You've got this three, the Three of Cups, and you've got this three, the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is creativity. It's the card underneath it is called Virtue. It's the creative person who is working on their craft, who has gathered together the people that they need in order to get a project off the ground. If you're a producer or an entrepreneur of some kind, this is the card of three team members all looking towards the same vision, right? And you've gathered them together to you. So it's like, in a creative project, it's the first chapters of a book being completed. There's more work to be done, but you've completed the first phase. If you're a screenwriter or a playwright, Act 1 of your play is done, and now you're working on Act 2, and these players are all there working for you. So what I'm hearing is you've got good people around you, you've got good energy around you. You don't want to F it up by being the dark magician. What stands in the way of you releasing the dark magician is this Four of Cups energy. And I'm just going to tune in because usually when the Four of Cups is reversed, to me it's a good thing, but let's see what the message is for you. Too much complaining. Okay, so too much complaining is what I'm hearing coming through the ethers. The Four of Cups in the upright is these four cups are full of gifts that are being offered to you by the universe, by other people, by whatever situation you're in. They're beautiful cups. And yet, usually in the Rider-Waite deck, you've got someone who's got the four cups but is kind of bored with it. They've got their hands crossed in front of their arms crossed in front of them, and they're kind of going, yeah, it's nice, but it's not what I expected, or I wanted something different, or I wanted something more, or all the things. So they're seeing the lack rather than the good in what's being offered to them, right? In the reverse, and this, now that I'm speaking, it makes total sense. In the reverse, they're saying too much of that complaining is what is causing your mind to think that you don't have what you really do. You're moving to the three. You've actually got the four here. You've actually got the four, and yet, for some reason, too much complaining about what it's not is causing you to really miss what it is, if that makes sense. And because you're hooking your mind into that mindset of what it's not, into disappointment or into dissatisfaction, that's when the shadow side can get really activated and say, well, how can I turn this into what I want, right? What do I need to do? How do I need to finesse this? How do I need to manipulate and go around or be stealthy about getting what I want? Making this into more of what I want is what I'm hearing. And that's when the negative side of the magician can really come in. So, your higher message is to work with what you've got, work with the people around you, see the beauty and the gifts of the people around you and what you can create, see the possibilities of what you can create together, right? And here's the angel card. Every time I do a reading, I pull angel cards as like the themes of the reading. The theme is surrender. So to hear what just came through from spirit to you, and then to remember that this was your angel card, it's like surrender the small will. There's that small will within us, and then there's the higher will, which is aligned to divine will. Surrender your small will and really see how this, whatever's working through your life right now, is divinely guided, divinely blessed. And if you can surrender the small will, you can really enjoy the gifts that these two cards, directionally challenged, that these two cards are wanting to bring into your life. The gifts of fun, abundance, of friendship, and the gifts of good works, in the works, right? Creative works. This is like, you're planning stuff, you're moving and shaking, and you're working on your life passions. That really wants to come in. So stay in that mindset, and all will be well. It's actually one of the more positive readings that I've done since I started all the eclipse season readings. So I don't see a bad card on the table. Let me see if there's anything else that they want me to share. Feels like these Gateway Oracle deck cards want to come for you. Oops. Let's do one last pull on the eclipse season. So show me a final oracle card that can help my dear Sagittarians move through eclipse cycle in a good way. Thank you for your messages, dear Spirit. Thank you. Ooh, all right. Beautiful card. Okay, so healing the past, I step into my future with strength and clarity. Sorry for the glare. Put it closer. I really love this card. So you've got the pine cone that has been planted in the middle, and it really reminds me of this card of the Princess of Wands, having that magic wand and having said, okay, this is what I want to create. You've planted the seed and it's growing, right? And maybe things didn't work out for you in the past, and maybe in the past you had to be a dark magician to get your way, or you thought you had to, and maybe it did work out for you to be that dark magician. But I guarantee it probably kicked up some negativity for you doing that. So let's see what we can do about healing the past so you don't have to do that dark magic. Healing the past. Your past and even your past lives affects your present. A powerful healing is occurring for you right now. Beneath the surface, there are forces dissolving old blockages and limitations. This has a positive effect on every aspect of your life, including your health, your relationships, and even your creativity. The universe wants you to know that challenges in your present can be linked to past events. Take some time to examine your current situation and see what areas could be strengthened. Release old blockages. Even if it feels like nothing is happening, profound transformations are occurring at this very moment. This is not unlike the bamboo that grows roots under the surface for 2 to 5 years, building a foundation invisible to the naked eye. Then, in the next year, it grows up to 90 feet. Wounds from broken relationships, people or situations that seem impossible to forgive, and old shame or guilt are all dissolving. As a result, your body, mind, and spirit are healing. So some questions to ask yourself. Is there anything in my life that needs to heal? What will lead me to the path of greatest healing? And how can I become an even greater healing force for others? Okay, so that speaks to the teamwork that this card and the Three of Cups card is talking about. As you heal your past, as you heal from those, maybe it was negative people that were doing this to you, right? One other way that you can read this is you're being asked to release the negative people who tried to be those dark magicians in your life, and who tried to take you down, and who tried to work their will above yours. So you know what that feels like. You know it doesn't feel good. You know what it feels like to be in a situation where teamwork is flowing, where there is goodwill amongst and trust amongst all the people around you. You know what it's like to have this, where it's just, life is flowing, love is flowing, pleasure is flowing, and trust is there. So, really good reading. You're healing the past. You're getting out of situations that are causing dark magic and dark magicians to be in your path, and you're moving forward into this. Beautiful. Have a lovely eclipse season. It seems like you're already there. Be well, Sagittarius. I'll see you next month. Take care.